use it and how you can apply it in your own life. So just take a deep breath with me in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. Releasing all negativity, all stress from your day, all worries, doubts, all positive vibes here now. So breathe in these new vibes. Relax. Sigh it all out. So, habit stacking is pretty much when you use a habit or a task and, well, I guess the best way to describe it is accomplishing a task and using that accomplishment of that task to apply yourself to another task. So, say you have to do the laundry and wash the dishes. Then you're saying, okay, I'm going to wash the dishes. And once you wash the dishes, you will have the motivation to do your laundry. But I'm going to give you my take on how I use habit stacking. It's more spiritual and emotional. The way that they describe habit stacking is kind of confusing because they just say you're using a habit to form another habit. And if you feel stuck, like you can't accomplish anything, then thinking about using a habit to accomplish another habit doesn't really make sense. So I'm going to explain some of my tips on how I apply that realistically into my life and how I accomplish so many things quickly without burnout, without stress, without interruption to my life. I feel like we're a lot of all or nothing kind of people. Just naturally, I think. Well, I don't know. I feel like I have a tendency to do that about things. And I'm a very patient person. But sometimes, like, I could give somebody else my patience for days. But when it comes to my own mind and my own habits and my own things that I'm trying to change or control, it's like all or nothing. And I used to feel like that about food. And I would eat like crazy. But then I healed my issues with food. But I think that was like one of the ways I noticed that in myself is like if I was on a diet and then I ate like unhealthy food, then I would just keep eating unhealthy food. But it's not good to do that because even though habit stacking is going to help you do better and better and better and better, you don't need to do better and better and better and better all the time. The journey to success is not a straight line. It is not up or down. It's a little bit up, a little bit neutral, maybe going up, going up, going up, and then having a little bit of a down. It is all over the place, but the most important thing is that you just get back on and keep going. So I'm going to give these tips now, but I want you to keep that in mind that every day you should strive for the perfect day if you're using these tips to accomplish something. But if you do not accomplish a perfect day, a perfect score, that's okay. Just try again. Like, don't let habit stacking give you a bad habit of perfectionism. Okay? I'm obsessed with this nail color. accomplishments that I make. Now, you can do this with anything. So, if I really, really need to get inspired and I feel like I'm in a rut, I feel like I'm so emotionally drained, right? Then I will start to talk myself up. So, say I do the dishes. We're going to use that example again. After I do the dishes, I give myself like a mental pat on the back. I'm like, yes, see, look how clean it is. I vacuum the carpet. Yes, go Remy, look how clean it is. Every little thing that you do, every single thing that you do, you went to the grocery store, you walked outside, like literally anything that you're doing that's like just a normal habit, even brushing your teeth. That is a way to raise your vibrations. So giving yourself like a emotional pat on the back might sound weird, okay? But if you do it for like a few days, you'll feel your vibrations rising. And that is the number one step for me on how to have motivation and keep motivation even in the times where I have no motivation at all. You will feel your energy rise and you will feel this self-love and this appreciation and this self-respect that will help you be inspired to take actions into your bigger goals. So now you have all of your goals. You want to write them all out, whether it's financial goals or habits that you want to implement or change or personal goals. Write them all out, get them all out. Okay? And then you need to decide, is this worthy, right? Some of these things are going to be obvious. Just like you obviously work a job so that you can buy food to eat and live in a house. You pay, your bills. And that's like a no-brainer. Well, all you have to do is trick your brain into thinking that these new things that you're accomplishing are just like these other things. Because just like you know that once you make that food and it's done, you can eat it and then you're not hungry anymore, your brain will be used to these emotional pats on the back that you give yourself. So it'll be a lot easier to accomplish your goal because your brain thinks that it's a more normal, everyday routine kind of thing. Something might feel extremely hard that's actually very easy, and that's just because it's not in your routine yet. Okay, I'm sure you've heard before, humans are creatures of habit and routine. So all you have to do is trick your brain into believing it's a habit in your routine, and that is by raising your vibrations and gratitude. So if you've decided that this thing that you want to accomplish will bring a result that feels so good that you know, and you sit with that thought and you meditate on how it would feel, and by meditate I mean you can literally take 1 second, sit in how it would feel when you accomplish that task, right? If that feeling of accomplishment of that task is worthy of just taking this moment here now and getting it done so you can sit in that feeling later, then that is worth it. That is how you can use the motivation to take step 1. So you have the good vibes going from giving yourself a pat on the back for doing tasks. Your brain is set. Your subliminal brain is set. Now you've used your, active brain to write down everything you want to accomplish and then pick the things that are really worthy, because when you think about them being accomplished, it feels really good and you want to feel like that. Now you're going to take action on that task. How you're going to take action on that task is by a schedule. No, a schedule, obviously. yourself, then that's great. Then these will really apply for you. But this can also apply for not just like financial gain and business stuff, but also for things that you want to do in your life. Like maybe you work all day long and you really want to play the guitar, but you keep telling yourself like, I'll pick up the guitar again. But by the time you get home from work, you're so drained that you never play the guitar. Or a billion other things that you've been putting off in your own personal life, reading that book or whatever it is. You're going to use habit stacking to apply these things into your life, because this is a great way to expand your personal life and your lifestyle and the fun things you do in your own life. So this is not just based on business or structured things. It can be planned fun as well. And that gets me to the scheduling. You can now plan these things into your schedule, but when you plan these things, it's very important to, number one, always have at least one day off. Even if it's not a day off financially or something, it's a day off like mentally. It's a day where you're not hounding yourself. It's a day where you're not like getting on yourself like, go do this, stick to your schedule, like it's a day where you mentally relax. You're not going to do the hard thing that is too tough mentally. You need at least one day to relax. Okay. Second is be realistic with yourself. Do not over plan things. I know that it can be really exciting when we get inspiration in the moment to write down all of these things and then try to accomplish them as quick as possible and doing the most, but all that will do is it will overwhelm you, because if you are the type of person that already ruminates a lot, if you see a lot on your schedule, subliminally you're going to get super tired, because every time you read it you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to accomplish all of that? So do not overwhelm yourself. Start out by doing the small stuff, like week by week, and habit stack by week, by month. Maybe say, okay, I'm going to play the guitar, or whatever your thing is, I'm going to read my book one day a week. Okay? Then, after that, you do that the next week. You're like, that book was really good. You know what? I think I can fit it in twice this week. Or whatever it is, or playing guitar, or going out with your friends, or just whatever that thing is. And if it's taking action into a bigger goal, just don't let it consume you. Try to make it as normal as possible, because the more you normalize it in your schedule and make it fit in there reasonably, the more realistic it is for it to happen, and the less stressed out you'll feel. So the last step, now that you have your schedule, is you've been feeling your feels this whole time. You're feeling all the good feels of how you would feel when you accomplish these goals, how you feel every time you accomplish something, a task, a goal of cleaning the house, feeding your dog, going to the grocery store, walking to work, whatever. You are congratulating yourself all the time. Now, you have your goals set in your schedule, and it is day one of your schedule. This is where it's very important that you did this work now, this emotional work now, because this schedule, this paper is what you are going to rely on, and you are not going to give yourself an out. You're not going to give yourself an excuse. You're not going to tell yourself, I changed my mind. You're not going to tell yourself, I don't feel like it. No feelings. You have absolutely no feelings. You are a robot going through your schedule, doing the tasks and completing them. You know why? Because you gave yourself time to rest in the week. You didn't overdo the work feelings you have now aren't the real ones you have in the bigger picture. And if you do this habit stacking in this way, you are doing it for yourself, not in punishment, but in gratitude and seeing your accomplishments. It will be so easy to add more and more and more because we are our routines, we are our daily lives. It's very important to implement these habits, small little habits, into your life daily, weekly, whatever it is. And then as you see this slowly, you feel how good it feels and you see yourself growing. Say if it's you losing weight, then you see it happening, right? It's going to encourage you to keep going and doing better and better and better. Falling upwards, okay? All in gratitude. Just literally being able to let go and not think because you have your schedule, you have your piece of paper. And it's okay if you do not hit your goals. I put goals that are a little bit higher, and that's because I am okay with not hitting my goals now. It took me a long time to feel that way. Still, I will sometimes put a minimum goal and a higher goal. I really try to just do the higher goal because I do believe it's better for like manifesting and working with the universe and believing in yourself. But if it is hard for me, then I do a minimum goal and then a larger goal of whatever it is, if it's finances, if it's habits. But if you fail, it is okay. It is okay. Trust me, because you're not going to just continually glide up forever. You're just gliding up forever as much as possible within reason. And sometimes you might slip up, but one day is not going to ruin your progress. If you've been adding these little implements in, like throughout your schedule, throughout your week, throughout your month, throughout your year, time passes by quickly, and before you know it, these amazing things will happen because you put in the work. And it will feel like less work as the time goes on. Like, it's kind of like Bikram yoga is kind of like a metaphor for life in a way to me, because it's like when I think about going into the hot room for the first time and taking that class, I felt like I was dying. My mental was like, I felt like I was in a locked closet that was like 1,000 degrees, but it was all mental, because once I got stronger mentally and physically, now I can just go in there like it's no big deal. And yes, I have some harder days than others and better days than others, but it never feels like how it did in the beginning. And now I could do 2 classes and be okay. So life is that way, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. And you know, you're not always going to be 100%. It's okay as long as you show up. And if you don't, it was just one day. So just get back on it and take it easy on yourself, okay?